Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. Today we are doing another manga haul, as always. This manga haul is like the last of the stuff that I hauled while I took a bit of a break before doing my collection tour and then when I was sick. This is basically everything that didn't fit into the other three hauls. So this is everything that isn't Isekai, isn't Case Closed, and isn't Viz. I'm not sure what to call it. This is just the MISC haul, a bit of everything. There's Yen Press, Kodansha 7 Seas, Vertical, and it's just all a bit all over the place. I'm going to keep thinking of a title, otherwise this is just my MISC haul at that point. As with the previous hauls, all of this is alphabetical, so that's how I'm going to be sharing it with you. If I remember how much I spent, I'll say that as well, where I got it, same with that. I hope to try and get through it a bit quicker than, say, my Viz haul, which was a video that was like well over an hour long. But my worry is there are almost as many series in this haul as there is in the Viz one, even though it's almost like half the size. 2/3 the size, just because the Viz one I bought a whole bunch of like chunks of volumes, whereas this one there's a lot of like one volumes here or there. Still probably not going to split it into two parts because I don't want to. Just before we get to the manga, if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for lots of manga content. Also, don't forget to check out my social medias linked down below, including the Discord server, which is amazing fun. And we started doing game nights like Jackbox, and they're going to happen a bit more regularly. Also a bit all over the place, so if you can't make one, don't worry, there's probably going to be more. Let's get stuck right in. Our first stack is this one right here, and right off the top we have 5 volumes of Alice and Zoroku volumes 3, 4, 6, 7 and 8. Now I've got to be honest, if you're like, oh, what's the series about, I'm gonna tell you, no clue, not in the slightest. The reason I picked it up is, if you can see those little stickers on the side, these volumes were $1.99 each, and at that sort of price I will give anything a go. It does not matter what it's about. Heck, I might even try horror. But yes, so I don't know what this is about. I want to say slice of life, but I'm not sure yet. I need to go and hunt volumes 1 and 2 before I can find out a bit more. Next we have volume 1 of Appa Sims. I don't know much about Appa Sims in the slightest, except it looked kind of neat, and it's the same author as Blame and Knights of Sidonia, I think. I flipped through it, and I must say the art style is a bit strange. It's very faint. At first I thought there was like a misprint, but I think that is just how it is. It's just a very faint art style. But yes, I am looking forward to reading that. I know a little bit about it, and I thought, why not? Volume 3 of the Apothecary Diaries. I really like the Apothecary Diaries. I'm very sad that I caught up to date with volume 1. I picked up volume 1 not long after release, apparently, and I'm very sad because it doesn't release too often. It's a Square Enixy volume, and it's great. It reminds me a lot of The King's Beast, but the main character is a lot less wet. I definitely prefer her a lot more. There's like, it's almost like detective-y, sort of, what's the word? Imperial. She's in the Imperial Palace. She's working as a servant, and there's just like things happen, and she sort of investigates them. But she's also she's like a maid to one of the ladies. I can't remember any of the words. It's really interesting and fun, and I think it might get romancy, but it hasn't yet. I'm enjoying the mysteries more than anything. Next we have 4 volumes of Are You Alice? 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, the reason I picked these up was the same as the other one. They were all $1.99. I see these volumes appear secondhand, so I'm fairly sure I'll be able to pick up the earlier ones. I've already found 1 or 2 secondhand for a decent price. And yes, I again know nothing about it. I think it might be a Alice in Wonderland themed manga, which is really neat because this means it's like my third or fourth Alice in Wonderland themed manga. I didn't realise it was that popular. Maybe it's like the style, like the clothing style and the whole whimsical Wonderlandy air to it. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, $1.99 for all these. Yes. Volumes 8 and 9 of Baki Monogatari. That's not how you pronounce it. I picked these up very much out of order. I have 1 and 4. I bought these because Blackwell's had them for $5.99, which is about half price. And it's a series I am wanting to read, so I'm quite happy to buy very much out of order at that sort of price. Also, the spines are wonderfully brightly coloured. I'm missing volume 2 at the moment, so I have only read volume 1, and I really liked it. It's really weird. I'm very confused, but I read it really quickly, which usually means it doesn't. I liked how it was written, if that makes sense. There is also light novels, and everyone says you should read the light novels. They're better than the manga, but I'm gonna read the manga. There's a whole bunch of Monogatari, those ones. And Baki is the first one. So those covers are really nice. Though they're printed by Vertical, and Vertical manga is like slightly different. It's slightly wider than a regular volume, as you can see the gap there, which I find very strange, and it means it sticks out. It's halfway between like a regular volume and a big volume, and it's annoying. Next we have The Breaker Volume 1, and this is a manhwa, and a very popular one apparently, and everyone seemed to be very happy that it was printed. I was talking to a friend about manga, and he said that this one was really good and I should try it, and it just so happened they were actually printed in English not long after he said it, and like the following week I saw like 5, 6, 7 people get the volume on Instagram, and I was like, oh okay, it's like everyone's telling me to go buy this, so I did. I haven't read it yet. It's very heavy. Apparently it's printed in English. They're printing it in omnibus style, so of the original story there's 2 volumes in this, and there's going to be a few of those. The second one doesn't come out for a while, but I need to get on this one and read it. Breasts Are My Favourite Thing in the World, Volume 3. This sounds very lewd, and you know what it is, kind of. Basically, this girl here at the bottom, she really, really likes boobs, and she, with the purple hair, has quite large boobs, and they've entered into some sort of weird deal where she lets her fondle them, hold them, do things with them. It's very strange, but they both seem quite happy with it. And like volume 1, it felt very much like, look at this weird thing that's happening, pushing the breast fondling, and then especially once we've gotten to this volume is like actually like a romance is starting to blossom, and it's really cute and sweet and lovely. And I actually like volumes 1 and 2, I was like, okay, it's just weird smut, isn't it? And then this one was a lot less weird. It was more wholesome and cute. Yeah, I was mildly surprised. Cells at Work Volume 4. I was missing Volume 4 because I bought 3 and 5 secondhand, and then didn't buy Volume 4, and then found this secondhand. Way! I was up to date, but Volume 6 has come out recently, and apparently Volume 6 has a coronavirus chapter in it, so I really want to get that one. That's really exciting, and I think that might be the last volume in the series as well. So I really enjoy Cells at Work. It is a very heavy read though, because there's so much Latin. I like to read a lot before I go to sleep. Like okay, heading up to bed, read a bit, go to sleep. But I can't do that with Cells at Work because there's just too much information. My brain can't process it late at night, so I have to read this one at some other point during the day, and I don't often read at different points during the day, and it's just nah. Cutie and the Beast Volume 2. I quite liked Volume 1. I really liked Volume 1, I thought it was really sweet, even though it is quite a big age gap romance. This one felt a bit more weird, where the guy was basically harassing the girl's dad so he'd be okay with them dating. And that felt a bit weird to me. I don't know why I found that a bit weird. And then there was the whole they tried to go on a date, and because he's actually a famous wrestler, they just got harassed and they ended up not being able to. And I think it finished with her going to his apartment because they had to bail on the date, which is also a bit weird. I don't know. I find age gap romances where one of the characters is a minor, it depends on how they react to it, if that makes sense. So there are some stories where Ron just completely ignores it, and I don't like that. But when it's acknowledged and it's almost a key part of the story, I do quite like those, as long as I like everything else about it. But there are stories where they don't acknowledge it, and I don't like that. But this one is acknowledging it, and I'm still liking it so far, so we'll see. Volume 3 is out, I've just not seen it out in the wild at Forbidden Planet yet. Drifting Dragons Volume 5. I have really enjoyed Drifting Dragons. It was one of the series that I bought to replace the Food Wars shaped hole in my heart, except the only thing they seem to really cook is dragon meat, which is a very hard thing to imagine and potentially think about wanting to eat. You watch them cook the dragon meat and you're like, oh my god, I want dragon meat so much. And you're like, oh no, dragons aren't real, what do I do? Which is really dumb. I really like the art style, it's very whimsical. I love just the panning shots are so pretty. And I'm really enjoyed this. I am missing volume 4 now, and that's about it. And then I'm up to date, I think, though 10 comes out not too long. Fire Force 21 and 23. These are 2 volumes I bought in Blackwell's for $4.99 each because sometimes they put random volumes on sale, and if I catch them I'll pick them up. Same with the Baki Monogatari. I think I only have a clear run of the series up to like volume 8 at the moment, and then I've got a whole splattering of volumes that I've bought for $4.99 on Blackwell, so I'm like, a part of me is like, just wait for Blackwell's to put the volumes you need on sale and then you could fill your gaps. This has been a really neat shonen so far. I've found the firefighting aspect quite interesting, but there's like way more to it than that. There's also the fan service girl who I really enjoy. It's the same author as Solita. That was it. Solita? Does that say on the back? It doesn't say on the back. I'm fairly sure it's Solita. I haven't managed to complete Solita because those volumes are getting harder to find, and I don't really want the perfect editions or whatever, the bound editions. I want to get the singles if I can still, which is a hard task. But yeah, Fire Force 21, 23. Kind of waiting for the rest to go on sale to pick them up. Gabriel Dropout Volume 2 and Volume 3. I've had Volume 1 for like the longest, like well over a year now at this point, and I enjoyed it, but these retail for about $11.99 in Forbidden Planet, and I cannot bring myself, even a 3 for 2 at £7 something, I can't bring myself to pay it for one of these. They're so thin, and it's so I found these second hand for about £4 and I was more happy with it. And the condition's fine. Actually they're both a little yellowed. It's not horrific, and they're a bit scuffy, but not horrendously. So again, I'm quite happy with these. So I was really happy with these finds. And also Rainbow Spine's very wonderful. There's like 10 volumes out at the moment, so I'm still a bit behind. But I can't bring myself to spend big bucks on these. They're too thin for me. So it's again waiting for them to be on sale or secondhand. Golden Japanesque Splendid Yokohama Romance Volume 2. I both like this and find it a bit dull, I think. Our main character is I don't really like her too much, but also I feel bad for her because she can't help being blonde, blue-eyed, and she's, as far as she's aware, this is wrong and she needs to hide it. And then there's this boy that's being really mean to her, but she's like taking it. I'm not sure. There's a wonderfully dramatic moment with a water picture, and I quite enjoyed that. But I'm still not sure I like any of the characters, but I like the art style, and I kinda like the story, which is enough to keep me entertained. I think is that the right way of saying it? I think so. Oh, I do. Also, this is such a beautiful shade of purple. I love this shade of purple. It's like, yes. Next we have 4 volumes of The Heaven's Design Team. I completely become smitten with this series. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Basically, God has created the earth and wants to populate the world with animals. But he's realised that why do that himself when he can outsource it? And he has outsourced all this animal creation to this team, and it's just about, so God will give them like some criteria, like it needs to look like a horse but be able to fly, it needs to be invisible, that sort of thing. I want a flying snake or something like that. And they then have to go and create it, but it's like they think about like the biology, like would it be able to survive, and they like run test simulations, and it's so interesting. And by the end they create what is a real animal, and then the end of each chapter there's a whole bunch of like facts about the animals that they created in that chapter, if they're real, of course. And it's just so interesting. I love it. And also I love how like vibrant some of these covers are. That is like a proper highlighter orange shade there for volume 3. There's only 6 volumes out at the moment, and I've bought 5 and 6 since the end of September, so I am up to date with this, though not in this haul. And I'm on volume 3 right now, and it's so good. Like, it's so interesting. I'm learning so much. I love it. Horimiya? I'm not sure. Volume 6. I have 1 and 2, and I bought volume 6 because, surprise, surprise, Blackwell's had it for $5.99 or $4.99, $5.99. I was thinking it was $5.99. And it's another series I want to collect. It's sort of high school romance, but there's a bit more to it. It's not like a sappy romance. I don't have much more to say. I read volume 1 and I enjoyed volume 1, which is one of the reasons I'm like, yeah, I'll jump up and buy random volumes later on. Inuyashiki, volume 1. All I know about this is an old guy turns into a robot, and I was like, ooh. I really don't know much more on that. I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. It looks really interesting. There's only 10 volumes in this, and they're all different colours, so I'm already intrigued by it. We're on to another stack. Didn't time fly? Oh, let's put that there. Alright, next we have 4 volumes of Kaiju Girl Caramelize. Oh my gosh, I love this series. I love it so much. I bought volume 1, and then halfway through reading it, I was like, I'm loving this. Looked on Amazon, looked on Blackwell's, and they had it for about 3 for 2 price. So I bought the other 3 volumes that are out, and it's so good. Basically, our main character, this girl here, if she feels strong emotions, she turns into a kaiju. How amazing is that? She is mostly able to keep it under control, and then she meets a boy and she gets feelings for the boy, and the boy seems to get feelings for her, and yeah, she keeps turning into a kaiju. And it's amazing, and the art style is gorgeous. It's super cute, it's super sweet, it's so... Oh, I could just talk about how much I love this. It was a proper, like... I almost felt emotional just because of how much I was enjoying it. It was so lovely, and it's so pretty, and... I'm so sorry. I would definitely recommend this one if you're into, like, your high school shoujo romancy stuff, but also if you like kaijus. Next we have 2 volumes of Land of the Lustrous, volumes 2 and 7. I have read volume 1. I found it very strange. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. They're all made of minerals and gems, and there's these dark people off the moon that are coming for them and trying to steal them. And if they break, they don't die. They just have to be reassembled. And if that is exactly what happened in volume 1, I'm still confused. I don't understand. So anyway, I bought 2 more. Volumes 2 and 7. I bought them both second hand though, so they were like £5 something each, which is half price if I was to buy from Forbidden Planet. I just want to figure out what's going on. I don't get it. I'm unsure on the art style either. I find the very like long legs, long limbs really creepy-ish. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and pick up more secondhand if I can, I think. Volume 1 of Love and Heart. This is a romance. It's a bit of a creepy romance because dude be stalking this lady here, and I did enjoy it. I liked the dramatic. I keep saying I don't like drama. I like certain types of drama. I like yeah, I don't know how to describe it. There are some types of drama I like and some that I'm like, oh no, don't. And the drama in this one I did enjoy. It's very strange, it's very creepy, and he just like let himself in her apartment, and he managed to spin a tale that she kind of believed. A lot of people didn't like it because he's being a creep, but I did. So I'm going to try and pick up more volumes of that because I'm a degenerate, and I think volume 2 and 3 might be out, but I've not seen them in Forbidden Planet yet, or a decent price at Blackwell, so yes. Next we have Made in Abyss volume 7. This is a second-hand copy, you can tell because they've got a black dot on the top, and that usually means second-hand copy. Otherwise it feels pretty new. It's got a bit of scuff, it's got like a dark mark there. It's about £5 I think I spent on it. It was the same order I think as the Land of the Lustrous manga. I have enjoyed the series, but also I haven't. I am very much hooked on the what is at the bottom of the abyss. I am less hooked on the weird kid stuff. There's a lot of pee. There's always a lot of pee for some reason, and the children are never treated well. Bad things are always happening to the children, and it's just a bit weird. And yeah, I want to learn the mysteries. It's a problem when I read manga or books or anything in general, to be honest. There's a mystery with questions and I need the answers. I like to know the answers, and I like to find out the answers through the story. I don't like to go and spoil myself. I like to find out by reading, watching, whatever it may be. So these don't release very often at all. I think there's only 9 volumes out at the moment, and like it's yearly, the releases, so 10 comes out in the new year, so it won't be too hard for me to catch up. Mages of the Library Volume 2. Now the first thing I want to say about this series is they are so damn thick. Oh my gosh. Like when I was complaining about Gabriel Dropout being squidgy thin, this is like the opposite. Now these go for $11.99 at Forbidden Planet, so Gabriel Dropout is the same price as one of these in Forbidden Planet, and I'm like, So this is Kodansha, whereas I think that is Yen Press. Yeah. Still, this was really neat. It's got libraries, it's got books. I've only read volume 1. I need to read volume 2 still. 3 and 4 are out, and I think 5 is out at some point soon-ish. So there isn't much out at the moment, but they're so thick, it'll take you so long to get through it anyway. I like the art style. I like that. Oh my gosh, that was a wonderful double scene page spread. Can I find that back? Can I find that again to show you? Look at that. Look at that double page spread. That's so pretty. Oh my gosh, that's a library, I assume. I don't know, I've not yet read it. But yeah, neat and I think value for your money, especially if you don't pay full price, because I bought this as part of 3 for 2, so it was £7. Oof. Mint Chocolate Volume 3. This is a romance. It's a high school romance, and our couple are step siblings, which is like its trope. But the difference with this one is they were kind of already in love with each other before they became step siblings. They also didn't know that their parents were getting married until they were already married and they were moving in together, which I find really weird. I was like, I don't understand how this is a thing, but I think this is like the 3rd manga series I've read where the children have discovered they're becoming step siblings, like, as they're moving in and their parents are already married. Like, do you not introduce your children before then? I don't get it. That just feels really weird to me. But I don't know. 3 different manga series have shown that this is what happens. So some people are like, the trope's weird, the step siblings, it's not okay. Whereas my opinion is they were already into each other before that. So to the step siblings, it's like it's just like added pressure, and it's like created a hurdle that would not have otherwise been there. And it's quite sweet. This was quite a wholesome volume. I'm caught up to date, and volume 4 will be out soon, I think. Monster Musume Volume 1, peak manga of culture. I watched a few episodes of the anime, one of the few I've seen a bit of, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. It was super over the top, super ecchi, super rude, lewd, all of the above, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna give this a go. And I took the longest while to find volume 1 because I refused to pay full price for it, and I've bought this one second hand, which may have been a mistake considering there's like certain pages that are really easy to open as if someone's had them open for a long while, but I'm choosing to not think about that. Yes, so I've read volume 1. I do have 2, 3, and 4, and 10, but volume 1, it took ages to get this one, so I've only read 1 so far, and it was just as I remember, over the top and smutty. Monster Wrestling, Interspecies Combat Girls, volumes 1, 2, and 3. I have only read volume 1, and so far, I must say, I think this is one of the worst manga that I have ever read. It is just so confusing and unclear. Basically, these monster girls go into a wrestling ring and fight, and they've got like different animal characteristics or monster characteristics that make the fights more interesting, except there isn't much of a lead in to what the story's about and who the characters are, and then they start wrestling, and it's like... So, I mean, our main character so far is this, like, werewolf girl, and then this other one here is a kraken, and it's just so confusing when they're doing a fight, and there's, like, thigh, arm, tentacle, like, yeah, I don't know whose is whose at this point, and then someone else jumps in, and I'm like, wait, who are you? Is that your leg? Is that your wing? I don't know. There's just another tentacle. Is that a bum or an elbow? I don't know. And honestly, it was meant to be like a fan service manga, but I was just confused because I couldn't tell what was going on and who was who. And yeah, you're like, why do you have volumes 2 and 3? Because I'm a terrible person. And I'm kind of hoping it might get less confusing and then I can just enjoy the weird fan service manga. Yeah, so far, would not recommend. Very confused. Bum, boob, tentacle, I don't know. New Game, volumes 5, 7, 8, and 9. If you don't already know, New Game is about a video game publisher and about the staff who are producing said video games and just what they go through to produce it, except all of the staff members are women. Yay! So the main character that we follow is this purple-haired girl in the middle, and she works in 3D modelling, and we start the series with her joining this new company. straight out of college, uni, or wherever she had just been, I can't remember. And we are slowly introduced to more and more characters throughout the series, and they do different job roles. So at the beginning, most of the characters we see are model designers, and then there's some audio designers, and then we meet the dev team and the test QA team. I'm like, oh yes, because if you don't know, my day job, I am a software developer and I work in QA and test. So there were scenes in this where I'm like, oh my gosh, relatable content. Especially with the dev and the test team, where test is testing something and dev's like, have you found anything? And test's like, yeah, look, I found all these bugs. And then dev starts crying and I'm like, oh, I make devs cry. It is super wholesome and cute, and it has just been really nice reading a bit about what I do in a wholesome content way. That means I know what I mean. For the longest while though, I was missing volume 5 because I got so confused, because volume 5 has a subtitle, the spin-off, and I saw that and I was like, oh, is there a spin-off, a new game? Turns out no, there isn't. It's just, there's an interlude volume. It is part of the main series. It's just like, it shows our main characters when they were at school, and then it goes back to regular new game story. But I didn't pick up volume 5 because I was like, I don't have the rest of the spin-off. I don't want to pick it up yet. Nope. It's just weirdly titled. It couldn't be a volume 0 or just like a spin-off volume or anything. I would definitely recommend. I believe it's actually complete at 13 volumes. It's just not finished printing in English yet. They are very thin volumes, so I always try and buy them on sale on Blackwell's. Also, they are in like a 4-panel, I forgot what, I can never remember what they're called. It's the 4-panel style where you need to read the columns, and I know a lot of people don't like those. I do, and after a couple of pages where I remind myself that's how you read this series, I get back into it, and I'm loving it. But yeah. New game! Orient Volume 3. This is the same author as Maggie, that one. And this is like samurais and there's demons and they need to go and kill the demons, but the guys who want to go kill the demons aren't strong enough yet. I am unsure of the series. I really liked Volume 1. I quite liked Volume 2. And then Volume 3, I'm like, it was a bit boring, I think. There was a bit of action at the beginning, and then, like, just some MISC stuff later on. I was a lot less bothered. There was, like, actually, no. That reminded me. Yeah, flicking through reminded me there was a small bit towards the end that I did actually enjoy quite a bit with the, it was like a sale market thing. I quite like that. Yeah, I'm unsure about it. It's meandering and I'm still not clear where it's going. But I quite like the art style and I like the covers and I kind of like the setting. So hopefully I enjoy more the more I read. Next we have Our Dreams at Dusk Volume 3. This is only a 4-volume series and I am only now missing Volume 4, so I'm going to hold off to read it until I have Volume 4 and then I can read it in one go. It's generally how I'm preferring to read shorter series now, because I've had a few where I've read them as I've picked them up and then I've not been able to say find the last volume, and when it's a shorter series I find I forget a lot of things between, say, the last 2 volumes, so I'm now wanting to read short series in one go, and that's why I'm holding off reading this series now. I just need to pick up Volume 4. Blackwell's did have it just wasn't cheap enough for me, and yeah, this is a LGBT series, and it's generally praised quite heavily in the community, and I'm really hyped to read it. It's meant to be really sweet, really wholesome, and portray things nicely, I think, is how I saw someone phrase it, but not quite those words, it was phrased nicer than that. So yeah, I like the covers. I like the covers are very much, there's like one colour, and it's, yeah. Oh, I'm so bad at explaining. Next we have Perfect World Volume 7. I am quite enjoying this series, but I think weirdly I'm enjoying seeing how I enjoy seeing a disability portrayed in a manga, and I'm finding it very interesting to see what they go through day to day, both as like part of a job, just how they live, and like a romantic, the romance side. I do quite like the romance, the actual like relationship that is going on. I wouldn't say it's like one of my top favourite josei. I can never pronounce anything. Of those genres, I think like Sweat and Soap is up there more. But I really like seeing the disability being portrayed, which I feel sounds really not good saying it aloud. But I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just nice to see more representation, and it's just how they live. Parallel Paradise Volume 5. This is probably one of those series that I would probably happily go pretending that I don't own. It is a proper degenerate series. It is smut. It is proper smut. And even for my level, the smut's a bit weird. Everyone just always seems very, like, sweaty all the time. And it's like, why? You barely wear any clothes anywhere. I don't get it. This volume, though, like, actually introduced more story. It wasn't just smut. There was, like, some, like, stuff happening, and there was a fight and stuff. And, like, I enjoyed that. I was like, oh, okay, there's more to this than just boning, apparently. So this one was okay. It was still like a distinct 4 out of 10. A lot of smut series aren't particularly highly rated in my eyes, because that's not why you're reading them. Yeah, this is a weird series. I would definitely recommend other smut series if that's something you want to try before I recommend that one. Prison School Volume 4. Not quite smut, more just ecchi. This is like proper lewd, rude humour, and it's all super thick volumes, and I think there's 14 of them, and I'm going to just try and pick them up over time because usually I can get them for like £10-12, and so I got this one second hand for I think £10 actually. So I just want to pick one up like here and then, every now and then, that sort of thing, until I've completed it. I've read volume 1, and yeah, it is like proper rude shit. Also, although all the spines are like really nicely bright and colourful, and then volume 4 is grey. I'm not gonna lie, the reason I didn't pick up 4 for the longest while is because it's grey. Like, grey! Puella Magi Kazumi Magica The Innocent Malice Volume 5. Do you know how many Puella Magi series there are? There's like 10 plus of them. It's crazy. Because they're quite thin, because it's another yen press. Because they're quite thin, I'm picking them up all secondhand. So I have completely I have loads of I have like 6 volume 1s of various Puella Magis. And then I'm starting to pick up some more of the later volumes. I think of this spin-off, I have 1 and 5. And yeah, I'm trying to pick them all up secondhand. I'm picking them up between like £2 and £5 each, which is like my kind of spending. I do know about the series. I know it's magical girls and a gist of some other things that happen in it. I just don't know specifically stuff about each side story. Raw Hero Volume 1. I think this is the same author as Prison School. Yeah, I think it is. This was weird. I have no idea what happened in it in the slightest. There was this guy who needs money, so he takes a bit of a dodgy job, and then he has to dress up as a woman, and then they go and rob something. I think that's what happened in Volume 1. I don't know. I don't understand. But I read it really quickly though. I enjoyed the storytelling and the pacing and the artwork, but I still don't know what was happening. So I'll be picking up more. I don't know if I'll pick it up in Forbidden Planet or try and find secondhand copies. I am intrigued. There's only I think 5 or 6 volumes out at the moment anyway, so it won't take me too long to catch up. It is also a plastic wrapped series. Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts Volume 1. Can you guess why I picked this volume up? Can you see? Can you guess why I did it? Can you see it? Yeah, that's right, it was 25% off. So Traveling Man had this for 25% off and they have it priced at $9.99. So it was about $7.50ish, which is a bit cheaper than 3 for 2 price. Forbidden Planet, because they mark this as $11.99. I know, very, very sad. I see a lot of people talk about this series on Instagram and I really wanted to give it a go because I really like the spines a lot for some reason. And so when I saw that, I was like, yeah, going for it. I don't know anything about it though, that's all I can say. That I picked it up for sale and I see a lot of people really like it. I hope I do too. We're on to another stack. So, first we have Saint Young Men Volume 5, or Omnibus 5, I suppose. I find this so interesting to read. I'm not a religious person myself, but I do like learning about religions in general. So at the end of every chapter, they have a whole bunch of like explaining all the religious references that were made in that chapter. So I'm learning through that as well, which is really interesting. I also like this nice hardback, the like Fist of the North Star and JoJo. I would recommend this if you're interested. I certainly have found it super interesting. They're a bit pricey. I think I paid £11 for this one on Amazon. They had it on sale. But like in Forbidden Planet, I think it's listed at like $22.99. So even 3 for 2, it's pricey. So yeah, definitely have a look out and keep an eye out for cheaper. 13, 15 and 18 of Say I Love You. So Say I Love You is actually... the first shoujo manga I ever picked up was Honey So Sweet. But before that, I had watched a few shoujo animes on Crunchyroll, and one of them was Say I Love You, and I really enjoyed it. The ending seemed really strange to me. It felt very like rushed, cut off, didn't make sense. And then I learnt that actually there was a manga and it was 18 volumes, and I was like, okay, well then it must go way beyond where the anime does, and oh boy does it. I have only read up to volume 9 or 10, I think, because I was missing a few volumes, but I have now got a whole bunch more. I'm missing 3, I think. It's like 12, 14, 16. That might make sense. Yeah, I think those are the ones I'm missing. And then I have a complete run, and then I can read that. I'd be very excited to read and finish Say I Love You, because it was one of the first shoujos I ever learnt of. Next we have this delicious stack right here, which is all 7 Deadly Sins. How many volumes of 7 Deadly Sins are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 volumes. I bought all of these second hand. So the most expensive volume I think was £5.50. The cheapest was £3.80. The rest of them were in between those two, which is an amazing price considering these are meant to retail about $9.99. So a 3 for 2 price would be £6.66. And I got all of them cheaper than that. I have managed to pick up some more since for secondhand prices as well. So I now, I think, have over half the series. They're just, none of them are in order. Because I mean, in here I have 7, 8, 9, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 29, 30. Yay! So yeah, I'm going to keep trying to pick these up secondhand because I like paying those sort of prices, but it means it's going to probably take me a little while. I do have a clean run now through to volume 9 because I already had 1 through 6, and I was really hyped to find 7, 8, 9 because I was like, yes, straight run. Next we have Shiori's Diary. Now this is a plastic wrapped series. It is very smutty. Basically this lady is cleaning the house, finds her husband's journal where he's been detailing explicit exploits with other women, and she's like, well, I'm not gonna have this, and then just starts going out and sleeping with men that she finds, more or less. And it is like proper smutty. And yeah, I find it a bit weird though that, like, she doesn't know that her husband's diary is a diary and it's necessarily like detailing his exploits. It could he's writing a story, maybe he's holding it on to a friend, maybe he's making it up. We don't know. If she's not talked to him, she's just read it, gone, he's sleeping around, I'm gonna do the same. It's just talk to him. Just talk to him. But my understanding, looking it up online, there's only like 3 volumes, so it should be a pretty quick read. I picked this up from Forbidden Planet, and I think it was $11 or $12.99, but I bought it as 3 for 2. So it is a bit more on the pricier side, but it is also very explicit. Very explicit. Plastic wrapped. Sign of Affection Volume 3. I really enjoy this series. The romance is super cute, super sweet. I love the main character. I think she's super cute. I love her bright pink hair. I love the sign language. I've learned a whole bunch about sign language, not just like words, about how a deaf person may interpret the world, sort of similar to Perfect World. How I've really enjoyed reading about how someone in a wheelchair sees the world, and it's similar with this, seeing how a deaf person sees the world. And I love how the artist shows, like, when she's trying to read lips and she's not quite caught what she said, and the letters in the... So the words might have some letters like turned the wrong way round, or they might say the wrong thing because that's what she's heard. So we perceive the world the way she's perceiving it, and it's great, and the artwork is gorgeous. It's so lovely. I really am enjoying this series. I'm enjoying the series way more than I'm enjoying the author's other series, Shortcake Cake. I think the art is way better. I think the story is way better. I like the characters way more in this one. So, yes, I can't wait for more of this. I understand the author is going on hiatus because she's having a child. How dare she? So I imagine releases are going to be a lot slower of this one going forward. I think 5 or so have already been published in Japan, so there's 4 and 5 still can't make its way over to us, but then it's probably going to slow down a bunch, which is fine. Hyped for more volumes is all. A Silent Voice Volume 5. This is like a manga staple from my understanding. I have a couple of volumes already, and then I found a couple more second hand. This is one of the ones I found second hand. It's only 7 volumes long, and now that I've got 3 with one on the way, I'm going to wait for all of them and read them together. As I said, that it was shorter series. I kind of want to read them in one go. I'm not sure what I'm cutting off as a shorter series. I think 7 is probably pushing like shorter series like length, but this is one I want to read in one go. I just need to go and find those last few volumes. Silver Spoon Volumes 1 and 8. I am a huge fan of farming games like Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley. Harvest Moon, oh my god, you name a Harvest Moon that came out on the DS, I probably owned it, and I probably put like more hours than I should ever admit into it. I was obsessed with Harvest Moon games on the DS. A lot of them never made their way over to the UK, so my dad would get them from the US because DSs weren't region locked. 3DSs are, which is not nice, but DSs weren't, and I loved them. I love Rune Factory as well, where it's like Harvest Moon meets JRPGs, which is like another great genre I love. It was like, during the day I'll just go and water my cabbages, plant my turnips, and then I'll go and fight this massive squirrel. Ah, great, loved it. Anyway, Silver Spoon is a farming manga. It's not a complete like idyllic Harvest Moon Stardew Valley farming. It is like proper industrial, getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go and care for the cows sort of manga. And I am loving it so much. I have volume 1. I bought that's not volume 1. I bought volume 1 in Forbidden Planet, and then I bought volume 8 secondhand online. It's complete at about 15 volumes, and I just can't wait to pick up more, I've got to be honest. I'm going to try and pick up a bunch secondhand, because when I picked up volume 1, I'd gone manga shopping with my friend, and she was also reading the series, but she was a few volumes ahead of me, and I think she like cleared the shelf out. She picked up every volume she didn't have. So if I want to read past like volume 5, I'm screwed at the moment, unless Forbidden Planet have gotten more stock. I'm going to be relying for shops online or secondhand. But yeah, hyped for this one really, really badly. Next we have Spice and Wolf Volume 4. I have been buying this series entirely secondhand, as I do with a lot of series. Can you tell? And people are like, how do you have so much manga? And I'm like, well, I buy a lot of it secondhand for less than half price. Oh no, I want to buy it brand new. Well, then I can't help you. But yeah, Spice and Wolf Volume 4. I love the spines on these series. I honestly think they might be some of my favourite spines in my collection at all. I don't have Volume 2 though, so I'm not particularly far into the series. I'm just on the lookout for it when I can find it. I think the manga's complete at like 16 or 18 volumes. There's a light novel, there's also a spin-off light novel, and I think that's getting a manga. So I wonder if they'll reprint more, because it seems very popular. If I can't find the rest, I mean. Star Crust Volume 2. This is the same author as Kiss Him, Not Me. And it also features a Fujoshi? Is that the word? But she's a very big fan of this boy band, and he's one of the guys in the boy band. Like, proper obsessed. Covered her walls with pictures of him. And she's at a concert, and through some freak accident, their minds end up swapping bodies. And the story is like them trying to fumble through day to day. Her going to school, him being like a rock star, pop star thingy, without anyone noticing. And it's just a very cute, light-hearted story. I don't think it's very many volumes. I want to say it's like 4 volumes when I looked it up, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, it's super cute. The art style's great. It's funny, and yeah, I like it. Sweat and Soap Volume 7 and 8. I really like Sweat and Soap. I think I definitely liked it more towards the beginning, where it was a bit more dramatic and the fresh romance. Now it's kind of settling into, it's quite chill. They've moved in together. They're quite happy together. And it's just quite sweet. And you can definitely tell it's starting to come to a close. There is only 11 volumes. With volume 11 coming out in December, which is crazy. They're like releasing a volume a month at the moment. I've read these, and I've actually already got and read volume 5, but I picked that up more recently, so that'll be in another haul video. And yeah, it's just so cute and sweet, and I can't remember what happened in volume 7. Volume 8, they go to the beach and they go for the company trip. And it's been over a year since they started dating, and they were dating at the last company trip, but no one really knew they were together. Whereas for this one, everyone knows they're together, and it's so cute and it's sweet, and it's just such a chill read. Sweat and Soap. It's like a warm hug. This is the sort of series I like to read before I go to bed. Not cells at work. That's just too much. Sweat and Soap. Tomamo-chan's A Fox Volume 1. I picked this up because Blackwell's had it for $4.99, and I was like, why not? This is very strange. Basically, a shrine statue of a fox sees, I think, school kids visiting, and it's like, I want to be a school kid, and it gains this like human form so she can go to school and try being a high schooler. Except all the kids can see that she's got like ears and a tail. All the kids know that she's a fox, but all the adults just see like a regular kid. So all the kids like pretend they don't know that she's a fox, and she assumes no one can tell she's a fox, but they all know. And it was quite cute, but very strange. It was just very strange. There's also a lot of stuff like in the columns that explains stuff about shrines, because there's a lot of references to shrines and things going on with the fox, because they're a fox to for a specific kind of shrine. I can't remember exactly which one. And so even if you don't know a lot of knowledge about the shrine stuff and etiquette and stuff like that, they do explain it along as you're reading along. But it does make it a slightly harder read. There were definitely points where I just started ignoring the things down the side because I was getting sleepy and like turning the pages and trying to read the small text. I was like, nah, I can't be arsed. I'll just be slightly confused at this joke. I don't think it's worth full price. I'm not too sure it'd be worth me paying 3 for 2 price, but half price, I'd happily pay it. I don't think this is a very long series either. It's another one of those 4 panels, but they're like widescreen panels. Yeah, it's quite sweet, it's quite light-hearted, there isn't much to it really. Next we have Thigh High, Raiwa Hanamaru Academy. This was weird. I've read some weird things. This is a all-male cast, and they all wear skirts and they all wear bras, and it's kind of like a slice of life BL almost, where they're all just at school and they're all chilling, and they're going through high school problems and they're just trying to overcome these problems, and that's about it, to be honest. There's, I think, 3 volumes and it's complete. I assume it's going to be just the same sort of stuff in volumes 2 and 3. I don't think 3 is out yet. 2 is out, and that's another volume I have picked up since end of September. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I quite enjoyed it. It was just very strange. I was like, yeah. It was strange in a nice way, though. In a nice way. Next we have To Your Eternity Volume 14. Sometimes Blackwell's does $7.89 deals on new release volumes. So I've done that. I did that with Volume 14 when it came out. I only have volumes 1 and 2 of the series, but all of those are like £8-9. They're more expensive than I want to pay at the moment on Blackwell's. So I'm going to try and pick up more secondhand, or some of them in store at Forbidden Planet when I'm next there. I've really enjoyed volumes 1 and 2. I've heard mixed feelings about some of the later volumes, like 14, 15 specifically. I'll just see when I come to it. Apparently the story isn't quite the same as it was at the beginning. I don't know. I'll have to read more to find out. Volumes 2 and 6 of Wave, Listen to Me. I picked up volume 1 and I honestly thought it was something to do with surfing because it's got wave in the title. It's not. It has nothing to do with surfing. It is to do with radio, like radio waves. Our main character, who is this lady here, goes out drinking one night and she starts talking to this stranger and she just starts ranting about everything and anything. He records it. Turns out he works at the local radio station and he airs her rant on the radio. She works in a restaurant and they are playing the radio station when they air her rant. So she hears it, freaks out, drives over to where the radio station is and tries to get them to take it off air. It turns out what happened was the guy really liked her rant. So he was like, this is going to be prime radio stuff. And tries to convince her he'll stop playing it if she'll start ranting live, start talking. And she's unsure, and then that's basically what's happened in volume 1, except there's a whole bunch of back and forth. She ends up leaving and he's like, I want you to come do stuff for the radio station, and then there's a whole bunch of do I, don't I, what about the restaurant, that sort of thing. Volume 7's just come out, I think, so I'm not actually too far behind. I'm missing 3, 4, 5 and now 7. I really like the spines. I think the spines are really lovely and pretty. I know a bunch of people like the first few volumes are a bit slow, and I did find volume 1 a bit slow, but I also found it really interesting. And then it like really picks up about volume 3, which is a lot of investment for especially a bigger Cadencia volume. They are Cadencia, aren't they? Yeah, they are. It's also the same author as Blade of the Immortal, which I've not read, but I believe is quite different to Angry Woman on Radio Station. Next we have 4 volumes of Witchbuster, volumes 5, 6, 7, 5... What do I have? 5, 7, 8, 9. Oh my gosh, I can count. So these are omnibuses, you can tell down the side. They don't say 5, 7, 8, 9. They say 9 to 10, 13 to 14, and all that. But I count omnibuses as 1 volume, so I was trying to figure out what I counted them as, but failed. This is one of the oldest series I ever read back in the day when I very first started collecting, and I was looking at new series I wanted to try. I didn't know that scans were naughty. I should have done. I was like 14 at the time, and I was reading the first few chapters of One Piece, and I was like, I really like this, I'm gonna go pick it up physically if I can. I don't know if One Piece prints. Of course it does. I mean, of course it does, but at the time I had no idea. And another series I read was Witchbuster, and it wasn't called Witchbuster in whatever thing I was using to read it. And so when I looked it up online, I just couldn't find it for ages, and I just gave up on it, and I didn't remember what it was called or anything like that. And then I happened upon the omnibus of volumes 1 and 2, and so I picked that up, and I was very excited because it is the series from my childhood-ish, teenagehood. So I've been trying to pick up other volumes as I can. Apparently it is cancelled though. Seven Seas cancelled it after this omnibus, even though it is a series that is still printing. So I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of when I catch up. I still want to collect what I can physically, but obviously I'll never be able to completely complete it, which is a shame. I am missing, I think, 3 volumes. I think I'm missing. My understanding, I want to say it's 11 and 12, is like an insanely hundreds of pounds for the volume sort of price. Absolutely no way I'm paying that. I bought all of these secondhand for about £6 or less. £6.50 maybe for one of them, but they were all less than that. It was crazy, it was wonderful. Some of them have black dots on the top to signal a second hand. This one is a bit yellowed, and then there's some more on the bottom. This one has a weird W3 boobs, whatever it is, and then that one's also got a dot. Otherwise the condition is not bad at all in the slightest, considering some of them also have stickers on the covers, but I'll take those off when I read them. Yeah, it's a shame it's cancelled, but I'm really happy to have found the series from when I was younger. Yeah, I don't think I got really far looking at the manga. I think I only got past volumes like 4 when I originally read it, so having all this is really exciting. Oh look, all the manga's moved around, almost like magic. So finally, last volume we have is Yoona and the Haunted Hot Springs Volume 4. Yoona is a series that I bought Volume 1 like 2018, and then I couldn't find like 2 through like 8 for ages, as in I think it was like December last year, maybe even March, springtime this year, where I saw Blackwell's had volumes 2 and 3 in stock, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And I've been able to now continue the series. It is at the moment in the mid-teens, and I think it's complete somewhere in the 20s. We've just not, English print hasn't caught up yet. And yes, I picked up another volume 4 in Forbidden Planet while I was there, and I'm just really excited to read the series. It's been so long though since I read Volume 1. I'm not sure if I should reread it before I go back into Volume 2, just to like pick up on, try and remember what was happening. I'm pretty good at like picking up on what was happening by reading a bit of the next volume, so we'll have to see when I get there. Right, well, that is another haul done. It was a little shorter for me to record than the Viz one. Whether or not it edits down to be any shorter, we shall see. Either way, I'm putting it up as one video regardless of how long it is, and then we'll get back to trying and doing some shorter videos, which was my ultimate plan. So far I have failed. You might have noticed that there were some volumes that were in stacks that disappeared. That may have potentially been I'd accidentally put some isekais in, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is an isekai. Boom. So they're not in this one. It was like, nope. There's only a few of those, so there aren't too many. But yes, otherwise I hope you enjoyed this haul. I definitely need to go take a break and drink a whole bunch of water because my throat is dying. Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, it means so much to see your support. Also, don't forget to check out my social medias. I'd love for you to check out, say, my Instagram and my Twitter and the Discord. Check out the Discord for like fun times, and if you want to join in our game nights like Jackbox, that sort of thing, it's super fun. But yes, otherwise I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.